Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Central radio show, and in this episode we're going to talk about the Premier League. We're going to give you guys a little preview, and for that we have our Premier League expert, the Global Sports Commentator. He also has a channel on YouTube. He does many things. He talks about basketball in basketball season, he talks about baseball, and a lot of Premier League. So here's the Global Sports Commentator. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on, people? I'm a Global Sports Commentator, as Sports Central just mentioned. I do many videos on my channel, but one particular topic that I enjoy talking about is the Premier League. It's so crazy. So many different things can happen each and every week. So I discuss what's going on in not only the Premier League, but also all around the world in soccer. So, yeah.
So as I said in this video, we're going to do a 2015-2016 Premier League preview, and we're going to go through the top six. Global Sports Commentator is going to give his top six, who he think will be the top six in the table at the end of the season. A surprise team, a team he thinks is overrated, and yeah, let's get started. So first, we'll start off your top six with number one. As we know, last year Chelsea pretty much ran away with it last year, and do you think they're going to repeat and come in number one this year?
Yeah, I think Chelsea are definitely probably going to get that number one spot, and they're going to be champions once again. I'm just looking at the squad depth that they have and the different players that they can come in and out with. It's just a miraculous team, and also the manager, Jose Mourinho, who just continues to win and always get his team ready for game day. It might be a struggle for them. It'll be really difficult because the top four is just so ridiculously strong. But Chelsea, I think, have the players and the manager to win it all this year again.
So you have Chelsea coming in at number one, and who do you have coming in at number two, and how close are they going to be to Chelsea?
At number two is going to be Arsenal, just missing out this year. I know that they've added a ton of quality. Petr Cech, they got him off Chelsea. That was a good buy, I think. But I think they're just missing a striker and probably a central defensive midfielder. And filling up those two positions would probably not guarantee, but give me them as, I would probably say that they were favorites, because Arsenal, I think, are just a few steps away from Chelsea. Even though they beat them in the Community Shield, I just think Chelsea are just slightly better when they're all fully fit.
Yep. And what about third place? Who do you think is going to get that?
Third place, I think, is going to be a battle between the two Manchester clubs, but I think Manchester City will end up getting third place. For me, they haven't really upgraded enough to give Chelsea a serious run for their money. I can see them causing problems for them, but at the same time, I just think that Arsenal is probably a lot closer, and I think that Man City, despite them not being able to challenge for the title, I just see them as a little bit a step ahead of Manchester United.
So, that being said, where do you think Manchester United will fall?
I think they're going to just come into the top four, barely scraping in and making it in fourth place. Manchester United, they've upgraded a lot, definitely got a ton of players this summer and spent a lot of money as Louis van Gaal, but at the same time, it's going to take a while for them to start gelling together. They still need a striker. They still need to fix that defense, even though that, it's looked all right. I just need them to fill up those spots for me to be considering them for a title this season.
Okay, who do you have coming in at number 5, and who do you think will follow them at number 6?
So, at number 5, I'm going to take Liverpool. A lot of people are saying that they could sneak into the top 4. I don't really agree with that, just because Brandon Rodgers, last season, he showed what is going to happen with Liverpool, I think. They're just going to barely scrape into, 5th place, and it's going to be difficult for them, especially with losing Raheem Sterling, and they just have seemed to have lost their two best players, Suarez the year before and Sterling last year, and also Sturridge. You never know if he's going to be fully fit. Benteke, I don't know if he's going to be able to hit the ground running. There's a lot of question marks about Liverpool. And number 6 is actually going to be my sleeper team, Swansea City. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Swansea City because I think that they can give the top teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Manchester United, and Liverpool, all those teams are run for their money, and I really think that they could pull off a lot of upsets and take care of a lot of teams that are going to finish mid-table. So Swansea City definitely going to get that 6th spot for me, and I think that they definitely will be the Southampton of this year, I guess you could say.
So I was going to ask you, who do you think's your underdog who will be better than people think, but I think you just answered that question. So you think Swansea's going to come in 6th. Is 6th place are you picking them to peak and that's the absolute best they can do, or you think that's about where they could finish and they could actually finish even higher than that?
I think 6th place is like a very optimistic thing for Swansea. At the same time, they would probably finish around like 7th, 8th, or 9th, but I just think that 6th is probably like a really good spot for them, and maybe they can sneak into the top 4, but that's just being really optimistic.
Yep.
So I think 6 is realistic and like about in the middle, like not too crazy, but at the same time realistic.
Yep. And so you think Swansea is going to be the underdog that no one really sees coming. Who do you think is going to underperform, not be quite as good as some people think they might be?
Well, a lot of teams are expecting Leicester City to remain in the Premier League, but I kind of have to disagree, just because Leicester City, I think they're going to have second season syndrome because they stayed in the Premier League, but they've gotten rid of their manager, who I think was a key part as to why they stayed in the Premier League last season, because if we all remember, they were rock bottom for a good majority of last season, but somehow went on a spectacular run and were able to finish in 14th. So will they be able to duplicate that form again? I doubt it. And the manager that they brought in has had a track record of not being able to perform well with different clubs and different managerial roles. So I have to say that Leicester City, unless they make a serious big transfer for a guy, I just don't see them performing well this season, and I think they're going to get relegated.
So you think they're going to perform worse than last year?
Definitely, and they're probably going to get relegated back down to the Championship.
So you're basically saying they had a miracle run last year at the end to save themselves, and they're just not going to be able to duplicate what they did last year. Not going to be able to do that again this year.
Exactly.
So where do you think most people are projecting them to finish? Like top 10 or just barely not being relegated?
I think a lot of people are probably got them from 11th to 14th like they did last year. But I just think like Leicester City, I mean, they're an alright team, but at the same time, I'm just being realistic. You bring in a new manager after you've had success with that manager. I know he's kind of a controversial guy at the same time, but he kept you in the Premier League. That's something.
Yeah.
So I just think second season syndrome is going to happen for Leicester City.
Yep. So there you have it, folks. The Global Sports Commentator's top 6, his surprise team, and his team who he thinks might be overrated. When we come back from the break, we will have his most fun to watch team and his top goal scorer. All that and more when we come back from the break. Hey guys, welcome back to the Sports Central Radio Show. And the first thing we're going to talk about now is the top goal scorer of this upcoming season. And Global Sports Commentator, who do you think will be the top goal scorer of the 2015-2016 Premier League season?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Sergio Aguero. I was just recently looking at his stats. His first year when he came into the Premier League, 23 goals in 34 appearances. And last season, 26 goals in 33 appearances. So, I mean, when the guy is fit and healthy, he can bag goals. So, Aguero, if he avoids injury, I think he can probably even maybe get 30 goals this season.
Really?
I think that's his height, but what he'll probably end up with is probably, I'm going to say, 25 goals this year. One shy of last year.
So, how much do you think he plays a factor into Man City's success? And if he does go down with an injury, how much will they suffer?
If Aguero goes down with an injury, it's going to be really tough for Manchester City to not only finish third for me, but they might even slip out of the top four because Aguero is their goal scorer. He's their main man. At one point in the season, he was the main reason why they were still in the title race. But I think Man City, they move with Aguero and they rely on him a whole lot. So if he gets hit with the injury, a long-term injury, like out for like 2-3 months or something like that, that could be really detrimental to Man City's title challenge and even them making the top four.
Okay, so Sergio Aguero from Manchester City is your top goal scorer. An interesting question here. You hear a lot from basketball. Who plays the best soccer? I'm not necessarily saying the most exciting and fun to watch like the LA Clippers, not throwing down lobs. I'm saying the most beautiful soccer that gets the job done and looks the best, kind of like the San Antonio Spurs, how they play. Another basketball reference there. But for the Premier League, who do you think plays the most beautiful soccer?
I would have to say Arsenal. Like Arsenal for me, I like the way that they pass and move, and defending is solid. Can go awry sometimes, but I really just like the way that they hit you on the counterattack so swiftly on the wings. They have Wilcock, they can have Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, just so quick. And you got Giroud, a front man. He's tall, he's strong, he's big. You can send a cross up to him, or also if you can keep it on the ground. He's like slightly technical. You can maybe hit a long-range effort on goal. I've seen him do it before, and I think Arsenal, man, they can really shock a lot of teams. Really could push for the title, but I just think they are one signing away or two signings away from, being title favorites.
So if you guys see a trend here, Spurs, a great passing team, Arsenal, a great passing team, and we have Arsenal finishing in second. Of course, a lot of you know the recent and long-time success of the San Antonio Spurs. It just goes to show you how important passing is in team games like basketball and soccer, and not to mention football. It's a huge part. But yeah, passing is a huge part of it, and you have Arsenal as your most exciting team, or not necessarily most exciting team, but best soccer, most beautiful soccer. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. A big thanks to the Global Sports Commentator. I don't know a ton about soccer, I know some, but he is our expert and knows a lot more than I do about soccer, so thanks to him for coming on the show. Any last words you want to add about this season? Any interesting things you want to you think will happen? And yeah, anything else you want to add before the end of this video?
Just gonna say, really hope that the Premier League lives up to all the hype. The title race definitely isn't a one or two horse team going for it. Like, I'm not saying that Chelsea and Arsenal are the only teams fighting for it. I do see Manchester City and United, possibly Liverpool in there, but I just think that right here and right now, Arsenal and Chelsea are the two teams to look out for.
Yep. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys next weekend, and enjoy the Premier League. It's a long season. As you said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's a very long season, and we'll see how it plays out. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next weekend.
Bye, guys.